So one of the things that you do in your role with business development is to evaluate technology partners. I'm
hmm
really interested in that. How do you look at the possible different partners that you'll work with at Fox?
Generally, we get the technology guys who are way smarter than I am to help evaluate that. Um, we kind of take a real holistic view. So we actually do. It's a collective effort. So obviously the BD team is really leading it and pulling together certain technologies, get our technologists in there as well as our product guys and see, essentially I would say the major considerations are what scale. That scale is a really big issue. Obviously at FDM we've got, in addition to Fox.com, myriad other cable networks. So we've got a big network of properties and we need technology that scales across all of those. We're looking for stuff that's as seamless, extensible, and dynamic as possible.
And now similarly, when you're looking at potential distribution partners, like a Hulu, which obviously you're invested in other places, how do you decide where you want to put Fox content online and what sort of windows and so on are appropriate?
Well, Fox, obviously, with the Hulu relationship, we're constrained in some way because we're a partner there, and most of the entertainment stuff goes exclusively there and our own sites. So we don't have the option necessarily that a CBS or some of the other networks have. And then with the cable nets and some of our sports properties, we are syndicating it. And what we're looking for there is a really good brand mix. So if we have a brand like a Fuel or a Speed who does car racing, we're really looking, or motorsports, we're looking for what are like-minded partners to sort of increase the impression base that we have and kind of get to all of our consumers and all the people of interest that we'd like to show our content to as quickly and as easily as possible.
So what are your views on convergence of video and TV? What do you see as the 10-foot opportunity? What do you see in terms of over-the-top opportunities, and how do you participate in them?
It's a good question. I think it's it's shifting sands right now, so I don't know if I can give you a definitive answer. I think we're trying to be great partners to our consumers and everybody who wants our content, as well as in the case of cable stations or MSO and affiliates. So it's I would say shifting sands for now. I mean, we definitely want our content out there, but there's obviously pay issues and other issues like that we have to get to the bottom of.
Final question for you. There's a lot of talk about micropayments for content.
Mm-hmm.
What is Fox's position on paying for content online, different types of possible
Well,
pay structures?
There's different types of content. Let me answer it this way. Because in the capacity that I have now, we've got a number of different sites that we're dealing with and a number of different networks. We do engage in micropayment structures right now. So take Big Ten Network, for instance. We have a product called the Big Ten Ticket, which is really for expats. So it's people who love Big Ten football or basketball who are living out of the country. They want to watch what's on the network. They can sign up for a subscription pass or a la carte on a microtransaction basis. I think for sports, there's a real interesting, viable market that we're exploring. I think obviously mobility is the key word on everybody's lips right now, and as I look at live content like that, I think the idea is where can we get this out as pervasively as possible, and have a transactional model that makes sense, one that is fair to the consumer, obviously, but also one that makes sense for the content producers. I think the live stuff is really, it's something we didn't discuss before, but it gets really interesting when we start talking about that.
In terms of possible payments for that?
Well, payments, but also the pervasiveness of content, because you look, again, like Big Ten last year, I think we did something like 250 live games. I may be wrong on that, maybe 200, but there's a ton of sports that are not going to make it on air. And you take the Olympic sports, there's only maybe one or two basketball games a week, one football game. There's other games that are being either shot, or in some cases, what we've done is we've gone and worked with the schools to have film students and other students there take something called these fly packs and actually produce the events, and then we've uploaded them, made them available online. So I think, you talk about, I don't want to say the word nascent, but for lack of a better term, nascent rights that we have, and obviously an entity like Fox has got a lot of them. I think what's really exciting about the internet and what's happening in new media now is the ability for us to make content that wasn't normally available or wouldn't have been available at all, now instantly available on a multitude of platforms. I think that's really exciting.
Thank you, Greg.
You're welcome.
Perfect.
Twitter about and so forth. But anyway, thanks very much for coming.
He wants to do his work for.
Yeah. That's right. Speaking of my work, this is a content farm, and you're all